How to level concrete floors. Over time, concrete floors can settle unevenly or become uneven due to cracking and moisture. Whether you want to refinish an uneven basement floor, or replace or add new flooring on top of an existing concrete floor somewhere in your home, you most likely will need to level the
process of lifting concrete and filling in the space underneath with sand, which allows for frugal repairs in concrete applications. The basic premise is to lift concrete and to then fill the resultant void absolutely with compacted sand. Sandjacking includes the careful assessment of what is required to restore concrete to its original profile and the intelligent application of different materials to keep it that way. The filling proves as the long-term repair and protection of any flat concrete surface. Since the lifting and filling processes are distinctly separate events, each can be accomplished precisely. The lifting process can utilize many different techniques, depending upon situational variables. The filling process uses compressed air to blow dry sand into any existing voids. The sum travels through hoses and nozzles to the void and deposits continuously. The sum travels wherever the air goes. It gradually loses momentum and deposits, nestling in with other grains of sand at 99-100% density. Midwest testing. The filling can be performed from the surface of the slab or from the side of the slab if available. Separating the fill process from the lifting process is crucial in this system. After the void is filled with sand, the lift occurs. The concrete is lifted about 1-3 inches and the filling process resumes. When the void is full, the process starts again with the lift and repeating the iterations as many times as is necessary. The benefit of sandjacking is the control of moisture. There are more voids under concrete than the average person would presume. Any void will acquire moisture, subjecting the slab to endless wet-dry cycles, freeze-thaw in colder climates. If the voids are full of sand, water can't accumulate in sufficient quantity to be destructive. Moisture in the lifting process is also undesirable. The only way to reduce it is to reduce the quantity of lifting material. It's important to fill first, then lift, creating a new void which is then filled with sand through the same hole.
This is an innovative approach to concrete lifting. Poly-level permanently lifts and stabilizes sinking concrete slabs with a high-density polyurethane formula. Small, pea-sized holes are drilled into the slab, and a structural-grade polymer is injected into the void. The expanding properties of the polyurethane allow for an accurate lift and leveling of the slab. Concrete failure is common, and so are the reasons behind the failure. Concrete is often poured over recently backfilled soil around a home after construction. This loose soil settles over time, creating a void under the concrete. Another common occurrence is erosion of soil under the slab. As water runs down through the cracks and joints in the concrete, it washes the soil out as it passes through. These voids cause your concrete to shift and settle, creating cracked, uneven surfaces and dangerous tripping hazards. There are typically two ways to fix the problem. Replace the slab with new concrete, or raise the slab by pumping a mortar-based mixture underneath the settling slab in a process known as mudjacking. Mudjacking has long been an effective alternative to replacing sunken or uneven concrete slabs. Raising settled concrete is much less expensive than concrete replacement. But there is a problem with traditional mudjacking. The weight of the slurry mixture that is pumped under the slab, combined with the weight of the concrete itself, can actually cause the slab to sink further if the soil beneath isn't able to support the load. Poly-level combines the already proven technique of concrete lifting with a specially engineered two-part expanding foam that makes it possible to permanently restore the concrete surface with little downtime and disruption. Poly-level is both lightweight and durable and is able to support and lift sunken concrete back to its original level without any added weight. Poly-level offers fast, mess-free concrete lifting that won't disrupt your day.
The concrete floor. With the right preparation, equipment, and self-leveling concrete mix, you will be able to do this job yourself in 1 to 2 days. Cleaning the concrete floor. Remove all of the furniture, appliances, and baseboards from the room. Take everything out of the room so that the floor is completely clear. Remove any baseboards as well because the height of the floor will raise after you level it. Use a metal putty knife or scraper to gently pry baseboards off the walls. Start at one end of the baseboard and move along the entire length of the piece until the whole board is loose enough to pull off the wall. Use a metal putty knife or scraper to gently pry baseboards off the walls. Start at one end of the baseboard and move along the entire length of the piece until the whole board is loose enough to pull off the wall. Scrape up any debris from the floor and vacuum the entire room. Use a metal scraper to remove any loose debris like old linoleum, tile, or chipping concrete. Sweep it up and dispose of it, then vacuum the floor to get rid of all dirt and dust. A shop vac is the best type of vacuum for this job. You might end up destroying your regular vacuum if you suck up too much cement and heavy debris. You can most likely rent a shop vac at your local home improvement center by the day.li. A shop vac is the best type of vacuum for this job. You might end up destroying your regular vacuum if you suck up too much cement and heavy debris. You can most likely rent a shop vac at your local home improvement center by the day. Fill in any large cracks or holes with concrete filler and sealer. Stick the nozzle of the concrete filler bottle into the crack and squeeze the filler out until the crack is sealed, or use a trowel to press the filler into the crack. Let the filler and sealer dry before you continue with the prep work. You want to fill in any cracks before you prime the floor and pour leveler, or you will end up using much more leveler as it flows into the cracks. You want to fill in any cracks before you prime the floor and pour leveler, or you will end up using much more leveler as it flows into the cracks. Use a piece of chalk to mark all obvious high and low spots on the floor. Mark any concrete bumps that are raised above the rest of the floor with an X, and any dips that are lower than the floor with an O. Sweep over the floor with a carpenter's level to reveal any depressions you may have missed. Work in small sections with the carpenter's level to ensure you sweep over the whole room. Lay the level flat on the floor and look at the bubble in the middle to see if the floor is level in each section. Work in small sections with the carpenter's level to ensure you sweep over the whole room. Lay the level flat on the floor and look at the bubble in the middle to see if the floor is level in each section. Use a concrete grinder to grind down any particularly high spots. Wear eye protection and a face mask. Start the grinder's engine. Lay the disc flat against the spot you want to grind down, and move it in a side-to-side or front-to-back motion until you grind the bump down to floor level. Grind down all the spots you marked with an X with the chalk, then vacuum up the dust with a shop vac. You can rent a concrete grinder for the job at most home center stores. Remember that you will have to get the grinder up and down the stairs if you are working in a basement. You can rent a concrete grinder for the job at most home center stores. Remember that you will have to get the grinder up and down the stairs if you are working in a basement. Apply concrete leveler primer to the floor with a soft bristle push broom. Spread it over the entire surface of the floor with the push broom, and apply downward pressure to work it into the pores of the concrete. Make sure to smooth out any puddles of primer to end up with an even coat. You can also fill a paint tray with the primer and use a long-handled paint roller to spread it over the floor. 1 gallon 3.78 L of primer can cover up to 400 square feet 37 square meters of floor space. You can also fill a paint tray with the primer and use a long-handled paint roller to spread it over the floor. 1 gallon 3.78 L of primer can cover up to 400 square feet 37 square meters of floor space. Allow the concrete leveler primer to dry from 3 to 24 hours. Let it dry until it has a tacky finish. You will have to reapply the primer if you let it dry longer than 24 hours.